Welcome back to the Bees Case Bond Community Credit Union pregame show. I'm Dale Trivinos. I'm sitting with the Bees pitching coach, John Wasdin. First of all, John, congratulations yesterday.
Thank you very much. Congratulations goes to Tanner and all the boys. I think he and Rick really did a great job calling the game. The work they put in prior to, and then just kind of knowing what to do and mixing their pitches. Credit goes to them and the defense. But as a pitching coach, sometimes you get to ride that wave of emotion. When they succeed, you succeed. When they fail, you fail. So, yeah, I'll take that as a success yesterday.
Well, we want to talk about Tanner Peters right away. Were you expecting that? Obviously, he's been good, but that was a little better than just good.
Well, I mean, Tanner has it in him. He's a strike thrower. He has his pitches that he can throw for strikes at any point in the count. And yesterday was a huge showing of what he's capable of doing, far as throwing curveballs early, changeups early. His four-seam fastball and his two-seam fastball, in and out, up and down. He, as I like to always say, throttled the hitters. He mixed in the pitches. He got them slow, 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 hard, hard, hard. Got them leaning out front, then kind of threw it hard to stand them back up. Got them leaning out over the plate, then he kind of brought the fastballs or pitches back inside. So he kind of had their timing disrupted, and we call that in a pitching world as throttling. You throttle them back and forth, hard, slow, in, out, up, down. So there's never really the same pitch twice. So he never kind of gets into that a rhythm as a hitter could be. And then you have quick tempo on the mound as well, to where the hitter has to hurry up and get back into the box. He can't really analyze how that pitcher may be trying to pitch him, so to speak.
I think folks on the outside sometimes think that young pitchers, this would obviously be a young level, tend to just overthrow. They throw the fastball a lot, and they don't really focus on the changeup or the off-speed pitches. You had three guys yesterday, two of them who have great changeups, another who just throws a lot of off-speed. Do you take a lot of pride in the fact that these guys have a balanced approach?
Well, yeah, and that's an Oakland A's philosophy. It's probably with a lot of philosophies around younger players, is the changeup is such a crucial pitch that they need to learn, especially going off-speed behind an account. Because that'll relay later in life when they get to higher levels. Guys can sit on a fastball, and it doesn't matter how hard it's thrown, they can turn it around. So you have to be able to mix speeds, change locations, and that's the thing that last night Tanner did, and hopefully as a pitching staff you see that guys utilize those changeups. And again, it's player development. We're here to win a championship, but also it's getting these guys ready for their future and their dreams.
We'll wait for the player development thing later. I had a question on that. But first, 23 retired consecutive, which was outstanding, at least from the press box. Where does that rank as far as your moments this season watching your pitchers go out there and dominate?
To be honest with you, I think last night probably, ranks up there as one of the best performances we've seen this year as a pitcher. Utilizing the strike zone. Through 7 innings, he only threw 89 pitches, so he's very efficient. He forced swings, but he also threw strikes, called strikes, and using his pitches early and late often. He never really fell into any kind of pattern. So he pitched last night. He was not a thrower, which a lot of guys who have good fastballs or one particular pitch they want to just throw all the time. He actually pitched, and the stuff that he took onto the mound last night would, in my mind, it could pitch at any level in the minor leagues, because he was able to use his pitches and mix them up, 4 strikes early and late in the count.
We had Tanner, Seth, and Jose all doing an outstanding job yesterday. I want to talk about the second half of the season, sort of a turnaround for the pitching staff. 4.12 ERA in the first half, not one of the best. Second half, lights out. In fact, in August, you had the best ERA as a pitching staff at 3.34. Was it different personnel? Was it guys figuring things out? Do you have any sort of answer for that?
I wouldn't necessarily have an answer for it. I would just say that the guys started to believe in themselves a little bit more, possibly, to where also they're learning to pitch a little bit rather than throw. What is it that they're taking to the mound that night? What is their weapon? What is the out pitch? What is, starting to realize what it takes for them to succeed, and utilizing that on the mound rather than just falling in behind in the count and throwing a fastball, or they started to pitch a little bit. They sped up their tempos a little bit, as we talked about a little earlier, forcing the hitters to get back into the box. And that quick tempo relays into, oh my gosh, it just does wonders. And being able to pitch inside, we threw inside a lot more. I think it is one, they're getting smarter, they're developing, but they learned how to pitch and use what tool they had that night. Not what they had last week or the night before, but what they had that night. What were they going to battle with? And they utilized that pitch to succeed in that game for that day.
I want to go a little mental for you here. Drew Grenier is the perfect example of this next question. I wanted to ask you this. Is it wearing on the pitchers, especially the starters, not getting the wins, even though they have outstanding starts?
Well, you know, as a young athlete, as a young pitcher, you know, everybody looks at wins. Everybody at home is going, dude, you only, you know, you lost 10 games. Wow, you weren't that good. Or so no, I mean, a lot of times it's the outside world that doesn't really understand the game that they look at wins and losses. In reality, it's, you know, we look at WHIP, we look at the ERA, how many quality starts? Were you able to keep your team in the baseball game with a chance to win? And those are all kind of developmental questions that a young athlete or a young pitcher doesn't want to hear. I mean, yeah, he was 9-3 at the first half. He was 2-7, you know, for the second half. So huge difference if you were to look at just strictly win-loss record. You would look like, oh man, the guy fell apart. But in reality, he was better in the second half than he was in the first. He just didn't get the run support he had in the first. So, you know, as us in player development, even my higher ups, my bosses, Keith Lippman and Gil Patterson, those guys are looking at, you know, what's he doing with runners in scoring position? How many 3-ball counts did he have? How many first pitch strikes did he have? You know, what was his times to the plate? Would he hold in runners? They're looking for the quality of the pitcher, the total pitcher, not necessarily win-loss, because that doesn't really play, and he can't dictate how many runs we score or how many, you know, errors may happen, or, and you know, he may have one bad game as Drew did this year where he gave up 10. So you take away the 10 runs that he gave up, and it's a completely different ERA altogether.
That's probably all good news for Drew Grenier then, if player development looking at it a certain way. Let's go right into player development. Only a couple more questions for you. It's got to be hard. You have a guy like A.J. Cole going out there. He has 6 straight starts with just 5 innings. Are you tempted, obviously it's not solely your decision, but tempted to get him to go more than 5 if he can?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I beg and plead to get these guys to go, you know, farther than what they're, you know, allotted. But those inning totals, the reason he's gone 5 is because he was on an inning minimum or a maximum this year. So you have to make like if I'm going to pitch A.J. Cole for the rest of the season, I've got to, you know, limit his innings to get him to pitch all season long. We did that with Alcantara, where we had to put him in the bullpen because he'd already reached his innings total. And it's for the health and development of that athlete. Yes, it's very important that we win games here in the Midwest League and possibly even a championship in, you know, playoff baseball. But the big picture is he going to be healthy for next year and to help the Oakland Athletics win, not the Burlington Bees win. And those are things that are to help and prevent the pitcher from either getting over his innings that he needs, you know, for the season, and or, you know, pitch counts or whatever. But, you know, I've been given authorization to allow AJ to pitch a game as if it would be any game, as I did with Peters or Grenier tonight. So, you know, I get a little bit more leeway with him, you know, tonight after begging and pleading with my bosses.
I'll tell you what, whether he goes 4, 5, 6, 7, it's probably going to be a pretty strong outing. Last question for you, what's the mood like around this team after that big win?
Oh, everybody's excited. I mean, I think everybody believes, you know, when you lose 6 straight games to end your season, you know, that kind of puts you in a spiral or in a doubting mood. You know, it's no I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but it's no surprise that, I mean, first half of the season we were scoring 10 runs a game, you know, and in the second half we kind of, you know, we fell off. So the guys maybe started to doubt and felt like, you know, well, if a guy gets 1 or 2 runs, we're going to lose. But after last night, you know, it's a different ball game. That 2012 season is out the window. That's over. All the boys, what we've told them is this is your new season. This is a brand new season. Everybody has zeros. 0 ERA, 0 wins losses, 0 batting average. This is where it all begins and where it starts. This will forever be on your resume as a playoff caliber baseball player where you've been in the playoffs. A lot of minor leaguers, a lot of major leaguers can never say that they were ever in a playoff situation or a playoff team. So these guys are excited. You know, some of them it's new to them. Some of them were in the playoffs last year with Vermont. Some of them were in the playoffs with Burlington last year. So we have some veterans of playoff experience, and I think these guys are excited and they believe. You know, after last night, you know, Bobby started us off with that mammoth home run down the center, and it just kind of set the spark, if you will. It kind of lit the fire, and it's, you know, and it's kind of, you know, all the cards will be laid out on the you know, the dance floor, and let's see what happens. And I think everybody's ready, and, you know, and just, you know, they want to fight, they want to battle. Well, they're here. They might as well win. No doubt. All righty. Well, hopefully they can get a win today. The pitching has been outstanding. That's John Wasdin, the pitching coach for the Bees. Thank you very much, John. All right. All right. We'll send it back to News Radio 1490 KBUR and KBUR.com.